Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the book experience. So, the book I'm going to talk about today is slightly different, and I wouldn't say slightly, it's very different. And I'm covering it because it is my book experience, and it's a way for me to document the books that I had read, that I would want to reread, and the kind of feelings it invokes in me, right? So, this one is a very important one in my life. So, this is Richard Scarry's What Do People Do All Day? Right? So, Richard Scarry was a very important influence in my life. I'd say when I was a kid, I remember I was about 3 or 4 and had done well in my exam, and however amount of well you can do in those kind of exam, right? So I was in nursery or KG1 and I had done reasonably well. And I remember my mom, she took me along to this book come toy shop that we had in the area of Calcutta that we were living in at that time, and she got me a series of 5 books. And I mean, I remember the books as Huckle the cat, right? That was the main character. That is the main character in Richard Scarry's books. Huckle and his family and these friends and peripheral characters from therein. And so I did not remember the author's name, and I fondly remembered those books. I remember when I was a kid, I was so impressed by the pictures of Huckle the cat that I used to exactly do like him, right? Eat like him, and then there was a picture where he was patting some water on his head and trying to comb it. That's what I also tried to do. So I was a great fan of Huckle, and each of these 5 books were slightly different in the sense one was about Huckle's school, right? His first day at school, then the school takes him for a picnic and things like that. Then there was another one which was more to do like this one, right? Which was about different professions and people who work there, and similarly, right? So each of those 5 books had a different kind of theme, uh, but those books, I mean, the Huckle the cat series books and many others that I had at that time were unfortunately all spoiled in a flood that we had back then. We had traveled to some holiday and there was a lot of flood. Not a lot of flood, I mean, our apartment had got flooded, and all of my books were kept in this black attache case, and they were all soggy wet by the time we had got back and basically rotted away. So I had lost all of my books, and I mean, I was too young at that age to understand loss. But I mean, I can tell you this, even to this day I feel very deeply for the books that I lost. And unfortunately I had forgotten, or else probably at that young age I had not registered the name of the author at all. To me, the books were Huckle the cat. So when my kid, was about two and a half, I tried to look up what those could be, right? And then I searched Huckle the cat and figured out this was Richard Scarry who was writing it. I looked up a lot of book options, right? But there were none. There is a possibly a cartoon series that they run based on this Huckle character and the stories of Richard Scarry. It's called The Busy World or Richard Scarry or something, Busy Town, I think, something like that, right? But my kid didn't take to it, and honestly speaking, I was not getting the feel that I got from a paper book. So about a month back, I had taken my family for their usual puja shopping and things like that because of the kids' exam had ended. And wonder of wonders, I see this single copy sitting in crossword, right? And I'm not a very rational person to begin with, but there wasn't a second thought in my mind that I'm going to buy it. So I buy it, I get home, and while everybody is doing their thing, right? My mom is preparing a tea and my kid is with something. I sat and read this book in one shot, right? I came back home and I had to read this book. It's such a favorite. And like I said, unfortunately, my kid has not taken a liking. She has not read this book, and I doubt she ever will. But I really wanted to possess it, like hold it in my hand. So, yeah, and I can show you 1 or 2 pictures if you want to see how the books look like. So this is the kind of illustration that is in there. I think if you have read this series of books, you can give it a shot. Or else, if you have a young child, you can think of giving this as a gift. Okay, so I think this was my slightly different book experience. Do let me know what you think about this one, and yeah, do drop in your comments. Have a good evening. Thank you.